Sharks are familiar to everyone. They are one of the most eye-catching creatures in the ocean. There are hundreds of species of sharks in the world. Some of them are the most ferocious predators. Others are underwater overlords that inspire both respect and fear. More interestingly, beneath the pitch-black deep sea, there also lives a group of creatures we usually don't notice or understand, but who are quite mind-boggling. In this episode, we will get to know several of the most peculiar and most outrageous deep-sea sharks. I believe they will definitely shatter your perceptions. November 1976, near the coast of Hawaii, a research vessel belonging to the U.S. Navy was, as usual, quietly operating in the deep waters, 25 miles off Oahu. To keep the ship fixed in position, the crew dropped two large parachute-shaped sea anchors into the ocean. The sea anchors sank to a depth of 165 meters below the surface. In the evening, when they were ready to finish work and pull up the anchors, a scene appeared that stunned everyone. Because on one of the anchors, people found a huge and never-before-seen strange fish entangled. Judging by its gill slits, it should be a shark. But its appearance was very different from ordinary sharks. This silly-looking giant fish had an extremely wide and exaggerated mouth. In addition, its protruding eyes and tadpole-like shape made the crew call it unbelievable. No one at the scene could call out its name. After exerting tremendous effort, the crew finally got this 1,500-pound strange fish onto the ship, and it was soon sent to the Naval Laboratory in Kineo Bay. Subsequently, the military gathered all local marine biologists to the scene, and at the same time, they called shark experts across the United States. After inquiring, it was found that absolutely no one had seen or heard of such a strange fish. Undoubtedly, this was a new species of shark. Due to the fish's strange shape and exaggeratedly large mouth, people named it the megamouth shark. The discovery of the megamouth shark, along with the coelacanth, became one of the most sensational events in 20th century ichthyology. Fewer than 100 specimens have been observed or captured. This shark is distributed in the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans. Research has found that the megamouth shark is a secretive deep-sea shark. It is considered the only extant species in the family Megachasmidae. They are large sharks, with body lengths reaching 5 to 6 meters and mouth widths reaching a staggering 1.3 meters. 3 meters. Adult megamouth sharks usually live in the deep sea between 200 and 1,000 meters. Due to the scarcity of sightings, people still cannot clearly understand their living habits or lifespan. It is only known that they open their huge mouths in the sea to filter feed on plankton, and their swimming speed is very slow, with an average speed of only 1.5 to 2 kilometers per hour. 5 to 2 kilometers per hour. In addition, the megamouth shark has a very special feature: a white band under its lips. In the early 1980s, when people were studying a megamouth shark, it was once believed that light organs were embedded under their lips, and the white band on the lower lip would glow. They used the light to attract zooplankton. In the mid-1980s, scientists studying another shark reached the same conclusion. However, in 2020, a recent research result refuted the previous theory. The new study suggests that this shark actually does not produce any light. Its white band is merely highly reflective of light. The band is found in both males and females. It might be a close-range mechanism, or a trait evolved to identify other individuals of the same species. In March 2015, the Australian Museum in Sydney welcomed a rare guest. The guest was a rare marine creature dubbed the deep-sea alien. According to Mark McGrother, the museum's fish collection manager, this was a magical shark captured off the coast of New South Wales and donated by a contact at an aquarium. They are very rare. Since its opening, the museum has only received 4 of these sharks. Mark said the last time they received such a strange fish was back in the 1980s. Because of its extremely strange appearance, every time it appears, it attracts great attention and becomes a news hotspot. This fellow with an alien-like appearance that often causes a sensation is the protagonist we are introducing next to Goblin Shark. The Goblin Shark, also known as the Elfin Shark or Mitsukurina ostoni, is a deep-sea shark and the only extant species of the family Mitsukirinidae. Since this shark family has existed for 125 million years, they are vividly referred to as living fossils. These sharks usually haunt the aphotic zone below 200 meters. Studies have found that they can briefly dive to depths below 1,300 meters. Mature goblin sharks can grow up to 6 meters long, making them a relatively large shark species. They like to inhabit continental slopes, submarine canyons, and near seamounts in oceans worldwide. Because these places are special, the probability of them being captured is not high. In 2023, fishermen from northeastern Taiwan accidentally captured an individual that was 4.7 meters long and weighed 800 kilograms. Surprisingly, it was a pregnant female shark carrying 6 pups at the time. After the capture, the fishermen initially wanted to sell it to a nearby restaurant, but were later persuaded by a museum to stop. It was eventually resold to the museum for display and public science education purposes. At first glance, the most magical thing about the goblin shark is its skin color. It is actually pink. However, this is not the true color of their skin. Research has found that the goblin shark's skin actually has no color. It is translucent. It is precisely because of this translucent skin that the color of the blood in its body is revealed, resulting in the appearance of pink skin. This is one of the most obvious differences between them and other sharks. Not only is their skin color unconventional, but their silhouette and looks are also very special. This is mainly manifested by the long, flat, and exaggerated snout on its head. Many people wonder what this flat, large snout is actually for. Scientists state that the main purpose of the snout is to help the shark find food in deep, dark waters. Research shows that the large snout is covered with sensory cells, and there are a large number of pores underneath. These pores are the openings of the ampulla lorenzini. The ampulla of Lorenzini is a special organ called an electroreceptor that can receive electrical signals from prey. When the goblin shark swims over the seafloor, its snout sweeps across the bottom like a metal detector. No matter how well the prey is camouflaged or how deep it is buried in the sand, it can easily be found through electric field sensing. It is believed that the goblin shark's diet includes bony fish, octopus, squid, shrimp, and crabs. Once prey is discovered, they use their ancestral ultimate weapon like a warrior slingshot-style impact. This is their unique secret skill. Observing closely, we see that the goblin shark has a highly forward protruding jaw. The jaw is covered with sharp, nail-like teeth. When performing a slingshot attack, the goblin shark swings its lower jaw down and back, then quickly opens its mouth, stretching and biting forward over a long distance. According to measurements, their jaws can lunge forward at a maximum speed of 3.1 meters per second, and the protrusion length can reach 8.6% to 9.4% of the shark's total length. 8.6% to 4%. They are by far the sharks with the fastest jaw protrusion speed and longest protrusion distance discovered. Phylogenetic evidence suggests that their feeding behavior evolved to adapt to the food-scarce deep-sea environment, possibly as a trade-off for the loss of strong swimming ability. In addition to the weird appearance and exaggerated feeding behavior, the elfin shark has another thing that puzzles scientists: its liver. Research has found that the weight of the elfin shark's liver actually accounts for 1/4 of its body weight. In January 2007, the Awashima Marine Park in Shizuoka Prefecture, south of Tokyo, suddenly received a mysterious phone call. The caller, identifying as a local fisherman, said he had found a strange-looking eel-like creature with needle-sharp, terrifying teeth in its mouth. Since he had never seen it before and didn't know what creature it was, he hoped experts would come to investigate. After hanging up, the marine park immediately sent staff to find out more. Upon arriving at the scene, they indeed saw the strange creature described by the fishermen, and the staff then recorded it with a camera. In the video, this fellow is seen moving like a large snake, with its mouth wide open, swaying through the water. Because its movements are extremely stiff, combined with its motionless and dim eyes, it looks very unrealistic. After this video was uploaded to social media, it attracted great attention and sparked widespread discussion. Many people have also constantly questioned its authenticity. However, this video is indeed real. It has been identified as a female frilled shark, 1.6 meters long. They are a type of deep-sea shark, usually living in water 600 to 1,000 meters deep. Encountering one in shallow waters like this is truly rare. The frilled shark is a very primitive shark. It is one of 2 species under the family Chlamydoselaci in the order Hexantiformes. This fellow got its name because its gill slits are long and fringed, overlapping each other. Because its body is long and its dorsal, pelvic, and anal fins are all located at the tail, its shape resembles a lizard, earning it the nickname lizard shark. They are typically distributed in the waters of the outer continental shelf and upper continental slope. They are found throughout the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The reason they are distributed this way is that these areas are rich in cephalopods, smaller sharks, and bony fish. These are all the primary food sources for the frilled shark. Studies have found that as a shark, the bite force of the frilled shark is far inferior to other sharks. It could even be said that its bite force is very weak. With such a goofy, puppet-like appearance and a poor bite force, how did they survive mass extinctions to stay alive? It turns out that while their bite force isn't great, they are quite excellent at capturing prey. Inside the mouth of a frilled shark, there are as many as 300 inward curving teeth. These uniquely shaped, needle-like teeth can easily hook the soft bodies and tentacles of cephalopods. When hunting, they will curl their tails like eels and lie in ambush on rocks. Once prey appears, they strike suddenly. Not only are their teeth difficult to escape, but the frilled shark can also expand its mouth to swallow food much larger than its own body. This point is quite similar to gulper eels and monkfish. It is understood that their expandable jaws and gaping mouths can swallow whole prey more than half their body size. By observing the behavior of captive specimens, people also found that frilled sharks hunt with their mouths open. They use the contrast between their white teeth and the dark environment to lure prey. Once the prey enters the range of the open mouth, they immediately use negative pressure to suck it into their stomach. So while they look weak, their combat capability is actually not low. Perhaps this is exactly why they were able to evade mass extinction and survive. At 1 a.m. on August 28, 2023, the Australian Maritime Safety Authority received a mysterious distress signal. The signal showed it came from the sea, 800 kilometers off the coast of Cairns. After receiving the signal, the authorities did not dare to delay and immediately launched a rescue mission. They found that in the location closest to the accident, there happened to be a cargo ship flying the Panamanian flag. So staff immediately coordinated for the cargo ship to change direction and head nearby to help. Finally, the cargo ship rescued 3 male crew members from a 9-meter-long inflatable catamaran. It is reported that these 3 members are international sailors from Russia and France. They are experienced maritime adventurers. According to their description, the 3 were sailing the catamaran on a world record-breaking challenge mission. Specifically, the record for the longest distance sailed in an inflatable catamaran. In fact, they had already set out from St. Petersburg back in 2021, and everything had been going smoothly initially. They never expected that upon entering waters near Australia, they would be repeatedly attacked by a group of mysterious marine creatures. The attacks resulted in a large number of punctures in their hull. The air leakage from the punctures triggered the distress signal. The crew was eventually rescued, while the abandoned ship was left to sink into the ocean. Logically, inflatable catamarans are considered relatively safe and reliable equipment. How could they fall into such a state? Due to attacks by marine animals? Later investigations revealed that the creatures launching these attacks were no ordinary marine animals. They were the infamous little demons of the sea, the cookie-cutter sharks. It is believed these guys are repeat offenders, having damaged human facilities multiple times in the past. In the 1970s, the U.S. Navy had dozens of submarines, whose rubber sonar domes were bitten by them, causing oil leaks and loss of navigation capabilities. Eventually, all submarines had to have fiberglass covers installed around the domes. They seem to have a particular fondness for gelatinous objects appearing in the ocean, as the rubber casing of undersea cables has also become a target of their crimes. At first, when people discovered these mysterious punctures, they even suspected they were man-made. Because the bite marks were so neat, they didn't seem like something an ordinary animal could do. Why can they tear out such perfect holes? And why are they interested in these rubbery materials? The cookie-cutter shark is also known as the Brazilian shark. It is one of the most amazing sharks under the genus Isistius. It gets its name from its shape, which closely resembles a cigar. This shark is widely distributed in major oceans around the world, in waters between 30 degrees south and 30 degrees north latitude. They typically live at depths of 0 to 3,500 meters. A typical cookie-cutter shark is only 42 to 56 centimeters long. Although this fellow isn't large, it is a quite fierce parasitic shark. They are one of the few shark species that can emit a faint green light. Furthermore, their light organs have the most enduring stamina of all sharks. Even 3 hours after leaving the water, their light organs can continue to work. In the deep sea, they use the light organs on their bellies to lure prey. Once the target is hooked, it will quickly move forward and tear off a piece of flesh by rotating its body. Prey attacked by them will be left with multiple crater-like scars. Not only are they active in the deep sea, but they also rise to the surface after dark to ambush large marine mammals like whales and dolphins, as well as other fish in shallow areas. It is understood that in their habitat, almost every animal you can name has been ambushed by them. For smaller prey like squid, they will swallow it in one gulp. For larger prey, they adopt a hit-and-run strategy. Take one bite and retreat, never lingering in the fight. In their shared habitat, many animals are found with chunks missing from cookie-cutter bites. So, how does this fellow take such neat chunks of meat from its prey? Research has found that the oral anatomy of this little shark is both bizarre and efficient. They possess unique suctorial lips. The thick lips allow them to stick to the prey's surface and form a good seal. After touching the prey, the next step is to use the highly mobile tongue to create powerful suction and firmly grip the prey. Once the preparation is done, the cookie cutter's needle-like upper teeth and saw-like lower teeth sink into the prey to lock on. This is followed by a violent rotation of the body and a rapid vibration of the jaw. Very quickly, a conical piece of meat is sliced off. Like other sharks, the cookie-cutter shark constantly replaces its teeth throughout its life. But unlike other sharks, where they replace teeth one by one, this fellow replaces them in entire rows. The reason is that their lower teeth are connected. Replacing them one by one is simply impossible. The benefit of this, however, is that it ensures they always have a set of sharp teeth. Even more interesting is that the old teeth aren't discarded, but are swallowed directly into the stomach. It is said this is to recycle hard-to-get calcium and phosphate in the nutrient-poor deep-sea environment. So, do they attack rubber materials just to obtain some hard-to-find substance? Actually, this is a beautiful misunderstanding. To eat, the cookie-cutter shark performs vertical migrations of over 3,000 meters in the ocean every day. Furthermore, they generally arrive at the surface in pitch-black darkness. Add to that the fact that these guys have poor eyesight to begin with. When they see a massive, soft, flat inflatable boat, they can't help but wonder, is this a whale? It looks like one, so let me have a taste. Oh no, this whale tastes terrible. It tastes like rubber. This isn't for me.